All right, good afternoon, everyone. I think I have 1 o'clock, so we'll go ahead and open up today's webinar. There'll be a couple more people probably joining as we move forward. So go through the beginning and then get into our guest speakers. So I just want to ensure that you can hear me and see the screen. So if you could just raise your hand on your GoToWebinar dashboard, if you can both hear me and see my screen. My screen right now says TEL Talks, Topics for Early Learning Leaders 2021. Great. Okay, awesome. Thank you. If you can go ahead and put your hand down for me. And then if anything does come up during today's webinar where you'd like to come off of mute to ask a question, you're welcome to do so by raising the hand icon. And then again, just putting it down when you're finished. Or you're welcome to also type in the questions or the chat function as well. For today, we're showing our webcam so that you can see faces to names and see who's presenting information. And I see that we have quite a few participants that just joined, so welcome, thank you. We'll go ahead and get started here and then move forward. So again, thanks so much for joining this afternoon. We're going to be talking in January's TEL Talk here about professional development advising with Kateri Schoons and Christy Berg, and they're both from the Child Care Aware Minnesota Coordinating Office. So TEL Talks, or Topics for Early Learning Leaders, are exactly what they say there. They're monthly webinars for early childhood leaders. And the goal is to facilitate solutions-focused discussions about your questions about the field. And these 1-hour webinars, they don't meet the standards for a formal professional development event, so you won't receive a certificate of completion. However, TEL Talks are designed as a community building opportunity. So our goal is to engage with you as a leader and share ideas surrounding these specific content areas. You can see by webcam and on your PowerPoint side, part of the TEL Talks team here. This is Christy Berg and myself, Nikki Lepowski. Christy is our workforce advising coordinator, and I'm the quality improvement coordinator, both at the Child Care Aware Minnesota Coordinating Office. We also work with Corey Woosley and Katie Hoffman to bring you TEL Talks. So some of the previous topics that we've talked about were families experiencing homelessness and housing instability. We've also had a topic about celebrating and how are you doing. The topics that we discuss are really based to be relevant and current to what your needs are and what's happening. So with that, we've decided to have February 18th TEL Talk. Our guest speaker will be Kelly Kazik from MDE. And she's going to be leading a conversation and some discussion about the new knowledge and competency framework areas. They're referred to as the KCFs. So tune in for that. Also remember that you can watch previous TEL Talks, and those previous recordings are located on the Child Care Aware website under the Career Advancement page. So that's a really great addition if you haven't had a chance to check those out. Join the Career Advancement page. We like to just ensure that you are aware of what Child Care Aware of Minnesota is and some of the functions and things that we do. We are a resource and referral network for the early childhood ed field in our state, and we assist families in finding quality childcare programs. We also support for professional growth through a few different areas that are on your slide there. Professional development opportunities, which we're going to speak a little bit about today, and Eager to Learn, different types of scholarships or grants, Parent Aware, our state's quality rating and improvement system, and trainer and RBPD support. Our goal is to really help keep the community informed on the importance of high quality childcare. One area that we also can talk about a little bit right now is our Child Care Information Services department. And they're a section or a department within Child Care Aware of Minnesota that specializes in statewide information sharing. They also assist families who are looking for care. The CCIS, or Child Care Information Services, sends a welcome packet to new programs, and every 3 years they survey programs about your business policies, tuition rates, and gather that information. They receive calls from program leaders and just general questions that can route that individual to the appropriate person to contact. There is some more contact information here, and these slides and this whole recording will be shared if you want to refer to it in the future. CICC, or the Center for Inclusive Childcare, is a partner of Child Care Aware of Minnesota. And through that partnership, CICC has a team of coaches that are ready across the state to support the different changing needs of your program. I highly suggest checking out CICC's website if this is something you haven't utilized before. They offer both individual and small group coaching. And of course, right now, all the coaching is virtual. And in response to the pandemic, CICC has designed coaching that's focused on supporting programs as they navigate through some of those current challenges that they may be facing, especially things that impact care and the services that you offer. Participants of CICC services can choose traditional options of 30 hours of coaching or shorter options of like 5 to 10. So for more information, you can visit their website or check out this email address here as well. You can see here a visual of some of the services that Achieve offers. Achieve is Minnesota Center for Professional Development, and they support individual, trainer, and RBPD membership applicants. They have courses and training events, and Achieve MNCPD website has several resources available to share with you, including a job board, some of their policy information, membership help, higher ed coursework policy, and then they also have a virtual career guide. So to learn more, please just go to mncpd.org or check out these phone numbers are available too. Our TELTalks team partners with these wonderful organizations you can see on the screen. These organizations help us, and in addition to Child Care Aware Minnesota, we partner with them to offer coordinated resources surrounding your needs, both for early child care and education. The TELTalks are able to utilize support through these resources and from you. And I think something that might be missing from this screen is just what a huge resource you are. So please use today's time to ask questions, engage with us, engage with the guest speakers about things that are going on in your program. You can utilize the questions or the chat function on your dialog box, or like I mentioned at the beginning, click the hand icon to raise your hand and I'll take you off of mute. So thank you so much, and we will make sure that you get the follow-up to this after today's webinar. I think then at this point, I'm going to just go ahead and turn it over to our two presenters. I'm super excited for their content and the great information that they get to share with you today. That's Christy Berg and Kateri Skuins.
Thank you.
And Christy, I'll go ahead and turn it over to you so you can show your screen.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, should be showing up here in just a second. And we'll go to presentation mode here, hopefully, or slideshow mode. There we go. All right, so you should be seeing Kateri in my photo there. Thank you, Nikki, for the introduction. Kateri and I have been looking forward to sharing information with you today on the various supports that professional development advisors in the Child Care Aware of Minnesota system can provide to early childhood educators and program leaders, and how the advising process itself looks. Again, my name is Christy Berg, and as the Workforce Advising Coordinator at Child Care Aware, my role is to, part of my role is to support professional development advisors with their advising on the Child Development Associate credential and with higher education. And prior to starting in this role as the Workforce Advising Coordinator, I did work as a professional development advisor in the Metro District for Child Care Aware.
Hello, my name is Kateri, and I am the Professional Development Systems Coordinator at the Coordinating Office. My role is to support all of our advisors statewide, and I have a particular focus on Parent Aware. I've been with the coordinating office for 3 years, coming up on 4 in May. And previously, I worked for the Northwest District for 7 years. And I did a little bit of everything in the PD department. I was there before advisors were advisors, but I did spend a majority of my time doing advising myself.
Great, thanks, Kateri. All right, so it's possible that many have worked with a professional development advisor for training review for Parent Aware, licensing, or the Child Development Associate Credential, or CDA. Training reviews are just one aspect of a PDA's work. In a few moments, we're curious to hear from you. We will open our first poll of today's presentation to ask whether or not you have been in contact with a professional development advisor already. Your local PDA can assist you with a multitude of things beyond training requirements. They also provide information to help you with career planning and to help build your program's quality. They assist with finding pathways to credentials such as the CDA, transfer pathways from colleges and universities, and finding a higher education program to fit your needs or the needs of your staff. PDAs have a wealth of knowledge to share about Minnesota's knowledge and competency framework and how it relates to professional development. They provide intentional and appreciative advising and work to build meaningful relationships with early childhood educators, meeting you where you are currently at. They support and empower early educators and programs while working together with professional development goals and plans. PDAs are part of a large network of professionals in our field, and they have connections to many other supports within their district offices, regional offices, and partner organizations such as child care assistants, scholarships, and quality coaches, to name a few. PDAs are highly skilled and trained in both reflective practice and motivational interviewing. Many PDAs also have to complete training to earn what is called the relationship-based professional development credential. Reflective practice is a process used in continuous learning that allows one to focus on their actions and progress. It is a strategy PDAs use in consultation with child care educators and involves active listening, open-ended questioning, promoting reflection, and understanding multiple perspectives to promote healthy caregiver-child relationships. And the overarching goal of the process is to facilitate quality care for children. Motivational interviewing is a communication practice that is used by PDAs to help prepare educators to go beyond where they have already been and to imagine and go after new ideas. Using this practice, PDAs guide, elicit, support, and strengthen an educator toward making the changes that they seek. The RBPD credential is a 45-hour course many of the PDAs have completed that focuses on the RBPD cycle of planning and setting goals, observation, feedback, and reflection in order to promote learning. RBPD is a strategy to promote ongoing growth in knowledge and skills among those who educate children and families. The credential provides a foundation of core knowledge and skills needed by coaches, consultants, and mentors, and it was created from the competencies for RBPD specialists. So that was training and credentials. Now we'll get into some information about advising skills. PD advisors use 3 types of skills in their work: interpersonal, instructional, and investigation. And interpersonal skills involve demonstrating care of who they're working with, asking about challenges and successes and how you're doing. They inquire and validate your experiences and do not make assumptions. And they use open-ended questions to get to know you and to get a good understanding of your perceptions and experiences. PDAs work to provide those they are working with support and encouragement. Instructional skills. In an effort to facilitate growth, development, and to promote self-reliance, advisors share where to find resources, research, and support educators with their decision-making and problem-solving skills. Investigational skills. One of the most important skills that an effective advisor can apply is analytical thinking. They maximize impact in working with educators by anticipating their needs, understanding the system, and problem solving on behalf of the educator. All right, so Nikki, if you would be so kind to see if poll number 1 could be activated, we'll go ahead and open that up with the question for our participants today. Have you been in contact with your local professional development advisor? Please take a moment to answer the question with a yes or a no. Maybe you're working with a PDA on finding training for Parent Aware, or have asked where to find training for your licensing requirements. You may have contacted your PDA to ask about a local college's early childhood education program, or perhaps had a PDA review your developed learning record to determine if you have all the training needed for a CDA credential. We'll just take a moment to wait and see if some results come through.
Looks like we're collecting responses, a few more still left. Currently, we're at about 57, 43, 57, yes. We got a few more left to.
Great, well, thank you so much for putting your answer into the poll. It's great to get a sense of you know, our group and who has been in contact with their PDA. And for those of you who haven't, I'm excited to share a little bit later in our presentation how you can find your local PDA. So it was about 60-40. Yeah.
Yeah, I just closed it, and actually, after all the votes got in there, it ended up being about 65% yes and 35% no.
Great. Okay. And then in a little bit, we'll ask what types of advising you have done with your, or that you've received with your PDA. So that poll will be coming in a little bit. Thank you. So next we'll talk about the advising process a little bit here. So there are a few steps that you can see that advisors take in their advising process journey. And they use an individualized approach in their advising work with educators. So there's a process to follow, and they'll typically work one-on-one, get acquainted with you, ask questions to get an understanding of where you're at, where you'd like to go, and what you'd like to do next. Often PDAs will have conversations with educators that are centered around setting individual goals related to the educator's education or program-wide goals to improve a program quality. They can help you break down your goals into actionable steps and to ensure that they're SMART goals, meaning specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. They can help you also to identify the resources you'll need, steps to take, partnerships to do, and a timeline to get things done. Your PDA is available to support you in putting your plan into practice and can hold you accountable. You may schedule regular check-ins with your PDA to stay on track and to evaluate your progress. Appreciative advising is a collaborative and intentional practice of asking open-ended questions to help educators in optimizing their professional development and to achieve their goals, dreams, and potentials by using their strengths. And there are 6 phases of appreciative advising that are used. There is disarm, discover, dream, design, deliver, and don't settle. And I'll just get into, I'll cover the phases each briefly. So disarm, this is where the relationship building first begins. And PDAs will welcome you into the work you do together by creating a safe, welcoming space for discussion. Discover, this is where open-ended questions are asked and PDAs learn about the educator's skills and abilities. Dream is when PDAs ask about an educator's hopes, dreams, and ideas. Design is the space where advisor and educator work on the plan for bringing their dreams to reality. Deliver is when the educator implements their plan and the PDA is available for encouragement and support. And don't settle is all about the educator setting an internal bar of expectations at a high level to reach their full potential. Professional development advisors can assist you with many aspects of the Child Development Associate Credential, or CDA. They can review your CDA learning record in Develop to help you determine if you have enough training to meet the initial or the renewal requirements of the CDA. They can provide you with a training verification letter for your records that includes verified training hours from your learning record. They can assist you with finding additional training options should you need them. And they can also help you in your search for a professional development specialist to complete the CDA verification visit. And they can also answer general questions about the CDA application and requirements. Advisors also recruit for CDA learning communities held face-to-face and coordinated either by their district or online through Eager to Learn at the coordinating office. So we encourage you to contact your local PDA for more information about CDA learning communities or to be added to the waiting list to join a future learning community. Advisors can also help answer general questions about the CDA awards that are administered by our coordinating office. We have scholarships and reimbursements that help with the cost of CDA training and the assessment fee. Professional development advisors have connections with your local colleges and universities. And as a whole group, the PDAs meet with various colleges and universities at a higher ed consortium once a year, where we network with one another to share ideas about how to better support the early childhood workforce. Many PDAs also participate in higher education advisory panels, and they make an effort to strengthen their relationships with higher ed institutions so that they can provide higher quality advising to you. Accredited colleges and universities in Minnesota offer early childhood education associates, bachelor's, and master's degree programs in a variety of formats. And we know that selecting a program can be a daunting process. You and your staff can determine which program may best fit your needs by setting up a time to talk with your advisor. PDAs can also answer questions about Teach, a scholarship program that helps early child and school age care providers increase their levels of education, compensation, and commitment to the field by earning college credits and degrees. Teach scholarships cover 85% of the cost of tuition and books for up to 18 credits per year. And we've included a link for more information about the Teach scholarship in our presentation here, which you will get after today's teletalk. And now I'll turn it over to Kateri to talk a little bit about Parent Aware and how advisors can help you with our quality rating improvement system.
Thank you, Christy. I really appreciate you going over the CDA details and our workforce, our higher ed advising. Like Christy said, I'm going to spend some time on what Parent Aware advising looks like. So whether you're working with a PDA during Parent Aware or even before you join, there are three main areas of support that they will help you with. In the Welcome and Getting Started area, PDAs introduce themselves and explain the advising process for Parent Aware. You may have already worked with them in the past for a prior rating, so it'll be more about reconnecting to work on your re-rating. These first few steps are all about, oh my gosh, I am so sorry, my phone. These first few steps are all about individual memberships through Achieve and also registering your organization profile in Develop. So the PDA will provide instructions and guidance on the process of applying for a first-time membership. They will explain what the career lattice steps are, what certificates they will accept, or any other documentation that may be helpful to send in, such as college transcripts or high school diplomas. Some of you or your staff may already have memberships through Achieve, and PDAs will double check to make sure that they won't be expiring during your rating process, and they can also help you decide if you need to send in any additional documents with a renewal application. Advisors also work with program leaders to register their organization profiles in Develop and check to make sure that the classroom tab on your organization profile is up to date. Just an FYI, this is something your coach in Parent Aware may also be helping you with, but this step allows the PDA to look at the lead teachers in your classrooms to know who to look at for training requirements for Parent Aware, which leads us into our next area, training needs. Do you want to move to the next slide, Christine? Okay, so in this area, advisors explain the different requirements needed for each star level. And you can see on this slide that they're broken down for 1-star, 2-star, and 3- and 4-star rating. And the number of hours are all based on the knowledge and competency areas. So using the learning records and reports in Develop, the advisors will provide training reviews for each of your lead teachers on, just so you know, training from the past 5 years that's approved through Develop can be used towards your training requirements. And if any hours are needed, they can help identify or suggest training hours to help you complete your requirements. If you have utilized any CICC or class coaching, or if any of your lead teachers have current Minnesota teaching licenses or Montessori diplomas, please let your PDA know that, because in some cases, those can also count towards your Parent Aware training requirements. Your advisor will be able to give you more details on each specific situation. There's specific types of teaching license that count, and the coaching and diplomas have to be within that 5-year time frame as well. But your PDA can definitely help navigate you through those topics. Next slide. Okay, I'm going to go into a little bit more depth with PD plans and goals and all of that, because this is really the heart of our Parent Aware advising, and our advising work is all about goal setting and watching you and your staff grow in your PD. And we love to help spark that motivation and offer resources to help you achieve your goals. So in this area of support, we explain the importance of goals to programs at all the rating levels. Professional development plans use the KCFs as the foundation of our goals. So we can help you identify both short-term and long-term goals that are individualized to each person and to programs. We have vast knowledge and resources to help you with educational pathways, financial assistance options, and other learning opportunities. And Christy had mentioned some of those prior. So for Parent Aware, PD plans come in both individual and program-wide versions. And both plans, like I said, are rooted in the KCF areas, although the goals and the activities to reach those goals might look a little bit different. So what you're seeing on the screen right now is a template of the PD plan that we use in Parent Aware to help create SMART goals and lay out the steps needed to reach them. If you are already using your own type of PD plan with you and your staff, the PDAs will just make sure that it meets all the requirements for Parent Aware if you want to use that plan as part of your rating. So the advisors will help you with goal setting. They have some resources and handouts about what is a goal? What's the difference between a goal and an activity? How do I create a goal? Where do I start? You know, and ideas they can help offer if you're really stuck on, you know, I'm not quite sure where I want to go with this plan. So they have some suggestions that they can help you with. Once your plan is created with them, you can do it on your own or in co-creation with your advisor, and they can help review that plan and fine tune it or offer additional resources that they might have to help you just enhance that goal that you have. And so one thing I wanted to talk about too, because I feel like this comes up pretty often with PD plans is, oh, well, my goal is to take the training. Well, yes, that can be part of your goal, but really PD plans are about so much more. It's really expanding on that and bringing all of that knowledge back to the classroom. And that's where that growth really happens. So PDAs have access to many articles, links, books, activity ideas, or other ideas that are beyond just taking training. So I just wanted to throw that out there because a lot of people think, you know, oh, PD, that means training, but it's really all encompassing. Next slide.
Awesome. Okay, thanks, Kateri. So this should be our,
oh yes, our second poll is coming up here.
okay, is it coming? Maybe I didn't, oh, here we go. Okay, so this is actually going to be a question, not for a poll, not the poll, but so we would love to hear from you again, this time using the chat box, if you could, and we would love to hear about the kinds of goals that you've been working on with your professional development advisor. So we'll wait a moment and see if you could just type into the chat box, what goals have you set with your PDA? Maybe you'll tell us about a goal that you've already reached or a goal that you're preparing to work on in the near future. And we'll see if we can view some of those responses that are coming through that we're getting from our audience.
Some time built in the end if you want to expand on any of this or share other experiences you've had with your PDAs.
I don't have anything quite yet, so I'm just checking, and I'll let you know when more responses come in. Again, just remember, if you'd rather ask or give feedback verbally, you can just raise your hand and I'll take you off of mute too. Or like Christy mentioned, type in the questions box. So thank you.
That's great. Thanks for providing that other option, Nikki. I always forget we can take people off of mute. All right.
Yep, and like I said, if anyone wants to share at the end, we have time available for that as well. So the ITNA is one of the tools that PDAs use with educators in goal setting. And the ITNA stands for the Individual Training Needs Assessment. This is an online tool that anyone can access from their Develop Individual profile. So once you log in, on the home page, there'll be some tabs at the top, and the ITNA will be one of those tabs. And it will lead you to a new page, and it'll have a description about what the ITNA is. And then below that, you will have the option to open up either the family childcare, the infant toddler, or the preschool KCF areas. And once you click on one of those, you will see what's on the left-hand side of the screen. There's a self-assessment for each of the KCF areas. So when you click on that, it will pop up a series of questions that you'll see on the right-hand screen. So this was just an example for KCF Area 1. And each of these will have a series of questions that go over certain practices related to that KCF area. So from there, you can answer how often you use these practices with sometimes, always, often, never. And once you go through that assessment and hit submit, the results will pop up and let you know which of the 3 levels of that KCF that you're in. The 3 levels of the KCF are level 1 of exploring, level 2 of implementing, and level 3 of design and leading. So this can help you give an idea of maybe an area that you're very strong in, or maybe an area that you want to learn more about. So that's just one of the tools that we use in helping educators think about goals, get in that mindset of what they really want to focus on. And anyone can access this through their Develop profile. Next slide. All right. I just wanted to add a couple points about the roles of coaches and PDAs in Parent Aware. So whether you're working in the building quality cohort or getting ready to submit for your rating, you will be working with both a coach and a PDA. So some of the tasks you may work on with both or either of us, and we can both help you with the individual memberships through Achieve, doing your organization profile, updating that classroom tab. So we can both help you with that. And with your coach, you'll also be working on goals along with your PDA. Sometimes those goals will overlap with each other. Sometimes they might be totally separate. But the main difference is that the goals with your coach, those are going to be entered into the Develop website. And the PD plan is a whole separate document. So sometimes people get kind of confused on, I've already answered that with my coach or whatever. So it might be that you are working on the same goal and it touches on both your coaching and PD. But just wanted to reiterate that it is a separate document that you'll be submitting for your rating for your PD plan. And also, if you do have any questions related to training, like does this training count, or I'm looking at this conference, or I have this from a long time ago, will it still count? Any questions like that related to requirements or past trainings, please reach out directly to your PDA. They will schedule regular check-ins with you, but know that they're available at any time. So you can feel free to reach out to them first as well. Next slide. So along with this, I want to let you know that anybody at any time can access the PDA. Whether you're working in Parent Aware currently, if you've worked with them in the past, if you're not participating in Parent Aware, we want to work with you and all of your staff at all levels. We love to work one-on-one or in groups. We know that you are all busy, so you aren't always able to have time and to relay all this information, and we can help you with that. We offer Zoom meetings, we do phone calls, we do a lot of emailing as well, but we really like to connect and establish that relationship and get to know you and your staff so that we can really help you with all of your professional development. So along with Parent Aware advising, we can help your assistant teachers, your aides, anyone that's interested in any of the advising work that we've talked about, whether it's CDA, licensing requirements, thinking about those educational pathways, or thinking ahead if an assistant teacher might want to become a lead teacher. How do we help get that person to that, on that path and to that point? So that's what I have for you. Thank you.
Realized I was muted, classic, and started talking. Okay, so we'd like to open our second poll and our final poll in GoToWebinar with the question for you: what types of assistance have you received from your PDA? And you should be able to select all that apply. So your options are Parent Aware, CDA, higher education, childcare licensing requirements, or other. So you can go ahead and mark your answers in the poll now, and we'll wait a moment or two for the results to come through. And if you do check the box for other, we would love it if you could go ahead and type into the chat box what other things you've worked with your PDA on. We'd be very curious to hear about that. We'd love to hear more, so go ahead.
Christy, we have about half of the attendees that have participated. So go ahead and continue to check which ones you've received assistance on, and then we'll close it up in about 30 seconds.
That sounds great. And, I was thinking that if we do have any professional development advisors who might be listening in on our webinar, without identifying, of course, the program or educator you're working with, if you'd like to share a goal or two that you've helped a program or educator with, we would love to hear that too, without identifying who or where they are.
All right, I went ahead and closed the poll. It looks like our results are in at About 80% have received support with Parent Aware, 30% with CDA, 20% with higher ed, 20% with childcare licensing requirements, and then there's a substantial 30% at other, but I haven't received what those others are yet.
Okay. Well, it might be a little bit of a mystery. Well, thank you for participating in poll number 2. We are nearing the end of our presentation, but before we get there, wanted to tell you about a couple features on the Childcare Aware of Minnesota website. You can find information about PD advising services on the career advancement page, as well as the recordings of the other TEL-Talks as well. Professional development advisors are available throughout the state of Minnesota to provide support in a variety of capacities, whether you are new to early childhood education, pursuing or renewing a Parent Aware rating, exploring your next steps in your career, or completing annual PD requirements. There is support available to you. So we highly encourage that you connect with your local professional development, if not already today. All right, and let's see here. So we wanted to show you an example of what our website shows when you go to search for your local PDA. So if some of you are not already in contact or familiar with who your PDA is or where to find them, you can just go to the Contact Us section on our website, and then pretty simple, you just select which county you're located in from the drop-down menu. And if you're between employment, you could select the county in which you live or plan to work in the future. So when you select your county, you will get results for the PD staff in your area, including the PDAs. And most districts have more than one advisor, and some of the advisors are assigned to specific counties within their district area. Each PDA's contact information is posted, including their phone number and email address. And we've included an example here to show what the page looks like. And this example shows the Northwest District PDAs Sherida and Mary Ann, and they work with programs on the map in the area in red. It's our Northwest District. So we do have a few minutes to check the chat box to see if there's any remaining questions or comments that you might have. We do have our contact information on an earlier slide, and you'll receive a copy of our PowerPoint, and it will come from my email address, Christy B, within the next few days. So feel free to send us your questions now or later by email. That's okay too. You could message me or Kateri. Anything coming through?
So there is an attendee with a hand up, but it's been raised for a while. So I think that it might be from the beginning, but I just wanted to check. Naomi, if you have any questions, just go ahead and raise your hand again, or feedback you'd like to give. And then, yeah, we do have a couple things in the chat box. Just looks like just a thank you for the information that you've presented. And one of our PDAs has shared that, that she's worked with several programs to set goals around better organizing observations of children and creating regular times to complete those assessments. She says that these conversations are usually around trying to find the best method for them to set small goals for collection and standing times of the year for conferences to discuss assessments with families. So some really great support offered to programs through Sherida.
Absolutely, that's a great goal. Thank you for sharing that. All right. Well, we really thank you for being here. We hope that you enjoyed our presentation and learned a little bit more about the advising services that PDAs can offer to support you and your program.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks, Kateri. Thanks, Nikki.